Hey guys, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. In the pre-shuffle, what it looked like to me is that you may have had some sort of like event or social gathering, or social even expectation of yours where there was something that you needed to do or you kind of like needed to be on. And it looks like now you're moving away from this. So it seems like the event or whatever this was that you were doing has kind of ended, or you went and hung out with somebody and you saw someone or other people. For some of you, this was a family event. And now it seems like you can kind of go back to stabilizing. I'm seeing you be in a space where you may feel a bit heightened still right now. Maybe dysregulated even. It looks like you're going into starting something new, but you may still feel, again, like kind of elevated in some way. Maybe a little bit stressed out. Still feeling the temperature is what I'm hearing. You have the opportunity not to take on more stress, I'm seeing, but it's something that you can do. I'm seeing your guides be like, hey, listen, you're in a situation where you're already feeling stressed out. You can choose to add more to your plate, or you can recognize, hey, I'm feeling stressed out right now, and you don't need to take this on, whatever this is that's coming through. You have the opportunity. It may, again, it feels like another thing that you'd be adding to your plate, or like another project you'd be working on, or another like road that you'd be going down, but you already have like 5 other roads that you're trying to go down and you're losing daylight. It just seems like something would be even excessive, and you taking a step back from this may recognize, like, me adding even more onto my plate right now would be excessive. Maybe having some weird dreams. Yeah, you could have even been kind of like socially influenced, or you had somebody that's not looking out for your best interest that's like, you can take this on too. It reminds me of like a manager that's not looking out for you, or somebody that you would like hope would be supportive, but they're like not concerned for your well-being. They're like, you can do this too. But it seems like you've been making progress. And remember too, this doesn't have to be someone around you. This can be like your inner manager being like, yeah, and you take on that too, and like, are you really worth anything if you're not working on that over there? And like, don't you need to be productive because your worth is tied to your productivity? Stuff like this. So I'm seeing something going on with you where you're realizing and even giving yourself a moment to breathe and relax. So yeah, wherever this criticism or lack of support is coming from, whether this be coming from you or be coming from somebody outside of yourself, I'm seeing you take a deeper look at this and try to get into understanding where that's coming from, and even being able to, I'm hearing polarize, to see yourself as separate from this. Yeah, to not identify with it is where we're going. Not identify with the projected energy, even if it's you projecting something onto yourself that's not resonating with you. Because the voice, whether this be, again, like coming from an internal place or it's external, it's a voice of criticism, and it comes from a space of fear. Of like, if I don't do this, am I still going to be relevant? If I don't show up for myself and do this thing that I need, is that going to have an effect on like my social standing, or on how this goes, or how these people look at me, you know? So yeah, you know that something would stress you out to be taking it on, but I'm seeing it be like a difficult move. Even though you know this is too much or it's not resonating with you, you're not interested in taking this personally. I'm seeing it's still hard to say no. So this is something that's going to take courage. This is something that, if you're showing up, this is going to be a brave move that you're making by saying no to this thing that's not resonating with you. Because there may be a lot of pressure ultimately that you're putting on yourself. But no, I'm seeing like message upon message from like spirit and your spirit guides being like, if you want to be brave in this situation, you're not going to take this on because you know it's not resonating with you and you know you're already stressed out and it's just going to add more stress. But to have the strength card here, it's like you have to show up and be strong in your resolution for why you're doing this and really show yourself how strong your character is too. Yeah, I'm getting something here about people pleasing and why it would be easier, possibly, you think, in a moment to say yes. However, that part of you that is courageous would have no issue saying no to this if you just allow that to come through in front through this process. But it may be very uncomfortable too. Maybe whoever this is that you're going to say no to, potentially, if you choose to, maybe they're not used to you saying no, or like you're not used to you saying no. But I'm seeing this be a significant moment for you where like you're gonna have to get brave to do this. I'm seeing you be very, very capable of doing it. It's just a matter of you actually following through and like really following your heart and also asking yourself what you need in this moment. And it's not to take on whatever this is, because I'm seeing it be too much. And you know that. This reading would just be a confirmation for you. I would not be saying anything that you don't already know. As per usual. I'm just bringing it all to the front for you. Yeah, it's going to be hard because other people may not agree with what you're doing. They have something to say about it. Yeah, I'm definitely getting like a criticizing energy coming towards you. Even self-criticism. But I'm seeing it's something that you're working on. Whether this be your own voice, whether this be you kind of maneuvering through someone's projected energy being put onto you, figuring out what that means for you and where you stand within all of that. But yeah, I'm seeing a very harsh self-talk space. This like even reminds me of a sense of like I need to be perfect and I need to be on, and like not giving yourself a break and like pushing yourself when you already aren't up for something. Like, forget how you're feeling, forget what your energy is telling you, forget what your body's telling you. You're just gonna push through this because why not? And it's like you feel so dysregulated because you're not connecting with your body and following through with what it's telling you, and your energy and your spirit, like your will and all of that. Yeah, for some of you, this is even like a hostile environment where it's very difficult to say no. As I said before, I'm seeing you be very strong-willed, and very capable of saying no, but this is not an easy situation. I'm seeing this be difficult. And I'm seeing too that if you don't have to take on the projected energy, however, it may be kind of like a somewhat trippy experience for you, only because I'm seeing kind of like an internal battle that's taking place with this. But you really have to check in with yourself and ask yourself what you want. Because, again, like it doesn't... It's not that it... I don't want to say like it doesn't matter as if it doesn't matter, but like whether the Five of Swords is something internal and or you're seeing it externally, it's a vibrational thing, it's an energetic thing. The main focus is that there is an energy that you are confronting right now that is kind of going against what it is that you want. And how you'll know that this is not in support of you and what's right for you is that it will be approaching you from being motivated by fear. That is how you're going to know. like, if you don't do this, this is gonna happen, or like, you should take on this even though it's not resonating with you to take that on, because then what will this person think? Or like, again, this thought of like, will you still be relevant? All of this stuff. So now is the time for you to reflect and check in and ask yourself what you want. And with the Hermit and the Nine of Cups, this means let's disconnect and let's unplug from everybody else, and let's go within and reflect through introspection. And once you can figure out and read what you're feeling, then listen to other people's opinions and be open to that if you are trying to collaborate with other people. But you need to know where you stand first, rather than being constantly like influenced on a whim by other people and then ending up somewhere and being like, how did I get here? This is not resonating with me. It's not what I want. Like, who am I living for? Whose life is this? And it all begins here with you feeling like, I want to say no, but it's hard to say no. And will I say no? Now is the time to empower yourself. I'm seeing there's also something that you've been trying to manage, prioritize. It looks like you are soon going to be through with this. Like, you're getting to the point where you've made it through the end of a process, gotten out on the other side of it. Seeing you also getting help to let something go. Something that you feel is just dragging you backwards, holding you maybe in a spot you don't want to be any longer. I'm hearing advice, tip, hotline. Okay. So right now you are maneuvering through a situation, even trying to figure out, how do I deal with this when I feel like there's so many different directions that I can go in. I don't feel completely clear on how I'm feeling right now. Feeling unsure. You want to get back deep into the psyche space. This, as you're maneuvering through a situation where there is some sort of confusion or lack of clarity, it is not the time to make choices. You want to wait until this is resolved and make a choice there. You want to work with the energy. However, like, if you're making a choice prematurely, it's like you're going to make the choice for arbitrary reasons if you haven't caught up with how you're feeling. So catching up with how you're feeling is something to prioritize right now before you go and do something. Yeah, I'm even seeing a question like how to do this. Okay, you're going to make it out on the other side. That fogginess is going to dissipate. Just keep working with it. You may feel like you're doing things and like you're not really getting anywhere, but I'm seeing you are getting somewhere. It's kind of like you're not going to see the finish line until you kind of like run up onto it. So you are getting somewhere. It just may be hard to tell that you're making progress. It's like someone went and kind of erased the mile markers for you, but you are getting somewhere. Yeah, in a big way. Something actually gets much easier when you get on the other side of this, like, lack of clarity, especially emotionally speaking. When you get on the other side of this, I'm seeing like something is going to become much easier. Yeah, the whole process is going to be easier. It's going to be easier to see where you're going, to see what you're doing, what this is about, all of that. You just have to be patient and keep working with it, because this is where you're going. And I'm seeing there be like skills and also confidence that you're gaining through this process as well. By you trusting yourself, I'm seeing this be a big point here. Looking at some strong Leo energy. I'm also seeing Jupiter here too. You get to a spot that looks like you're kind of sitting pretty while you're waiting for something to happen. Something that's not time yet. But it looks like you did everything that you needed to do and you just kind of have to wait for the timer to go off. Maybe you're also working through some emotional stuff while this is happening. For some of you, the emotional stuff that you're working through doesn't even have to do with this process. It's like something else going on in your life. Becoming tangible. Yeah. I'm hearing while we wait. There is something that you're waiting for, but in the meantime, this may be two different areas of your life. While you're waiting for this one thing, there is stuff that you're doing. And it even looks like you're looking into something, checking something out, checking yourself, seeing what's going on for you. Even wanting to understand the overall message of what you're receiving. You also may be figuring out something about how you're feeling and preparing to express it, but you're not at that point yet. But yeah, you may be reaching out to someone and having a conversation about them. Yeah. I'm looking at Scorpio popping up. I'm also seeing Sag on the bottom of the deck. I have like double Scorpio energy that's also connected to, it's Pluto, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Jupiter, Leo. So you have a lot going on right now. It looks like you are doing the best that you can be doing given this situation. And I actually am seeing you kind of look maybe more okay with this than you had been feeling before, like more confident about the way that you're maneuvering through something. Yeah, I'm seeing your guides be like, I'm hearing high times. This feels like a high stress time for you. And your guides are saying, don't lose your confidence. You're doing this as best as you can be given for this situation. And don't allow yourself to become confused by the process because of the time that it is taking. So this is like a reassurance that I'm seeing from your guides. I saw 1909 on the time when I looked up. If you Google the angel number, that can give you more insight as to what this is about. As I said before, it's a time where there's a lot that you're doing and it may feel kind of stressful, or you being like, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm at my limit, so I'm just gonna like put on a brave face and do the best that I can. I'm seeing like there's nothing more that you can be doing for this situation. You are doing everything that you can. There's just, again, like nothing more that you can be doing. So don't allow yourself to succumb to any sort of like confusion or get into a place where you're getting all caught up in your head just because something is taking time. You want to keep pursuing this and moving through in the way that you are. And you trusting yourself and trusting in your willpower and trusting what you're doing is how you end up being successful through this process. And you also want to check in whether you have somebody around you or people around you that are not being supportive of you or who are like criticizing how you're doing what you're doing. Even like being salty about the strength that you are showing. And again, this can be like an internal voice. It can be external voices that you're hearing. But it's like people or energies that have something to say about the way that you're pulling through this process. I'm seeing you be so resilient, so don't trip. Because it's more so like the people around you or an internal voice. Again, I just want to be very clear that it can be both of these things. It can be one of these things. Whatever energy this is, it's like, especially if these are people around you, it's people that look at you being strong, and because they're not showing up for themselves like that within their lives, like they see that as a threat to their ego. And so they feel a type of way about it. So again, don't trip. Like the people that have something to say, it's coming from a place of them feeling inadequate within their lives. And so they're projecting their saltiness onto you when really it's like you're doing everything here. I'm seeing your guides be like super, super proud of how you're pulling everything off in the way that you are. And also just that the vibrations that people are putting off, all of it is being logged is what I'm hearing. So also you don't need to pay any attention to that or pay any mind to that, the people that are not supporting what you're doing. I'm hearing it's none of your business, so. And mean that in like the most well-intended way too, because it's nothing that you need to get concerned over. Just separate yourself. And don't take on the projected energy. I keep hearing it again, don't trip. Don't trip. Because karmically, like, the energy that everybody's giving out is what they are going to be connecting with and attracting within their lives. And so the people that are in a space that are working from a space of fear are going to be connecting and attracting with more fear within their lives and like ignorant types of vibes. So just keep doing you and don't sink down to a vibration that's lower than you. And know too that if somebody comes through and says something to you, like say somebody's criticizing you, and I'm not talking about like helpful criticism where it's like, wow, I value your opinion, that's really helpful to me, thank you for the critique. I mean just people that are straight up being salty. If you respond to, I'm even hearing the term haters. If you respond to those things, know that you have to sink down to that person's vibration, like float down from where you are, and then get on their level to then say something back. And it's like, do you really want to spend your energy doing that? Or do you want to just be so high up that you're like, that's not even relevant to me? Because people may be trying to make themselves relevant, and you have the power to either say, yes, you are relevant, or no, you're not relevant to what I'm doing, and so I have nothing for that, and you don't give your energy to that situation. So just remember. Because I'm seeing there be a little karmic hurricane that is happening around those energies, and if you just stay in your lane, you're going to be just fine. I'm also seeing that, like, something that's been happening is not going to be staying the same. It even seems like some sort of, like, testing ground or testing period karmically for something to see whose energy is going to be going in what direction, and things are going to be determined in that way, in, like, a universal system scale type of way. So, yeah, just keep persevering, be patient with your process, take your time doing what you're doing. Yeah, and if you feel like you're holding on to anything that's weighing you down, it's going to be in your best interest to find a way to let go of it, to release it. Alright, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for connecting. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.